Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today on this Phone.com webinar. My name is Derek Artes, and I'm a customer service representative at Phone.com. And today we're going to show you guys how to set up your Phone.com voicemail. So just a few things before we begin. Today's content is suitable for both beginner and intermediate. For beginners, I'm going to show you the basics of setting up your greeting and setting up voicemail. And for some of our intermediate users out there, I'll show you some alternative voicemail setups. If you guys do have any questions, please enter them in the GoToWebinar chat box. And I'm going to hold those all to the end, and we can have a nice Q&A to wrap things up. So just a few things to go over what we'll be covering. We're going to show you how to set up your voicemail from beginning to finish. So you'll be able to go out there in your control panel and do exactly what I showed you. I broke this down into 5 easy steps. The first is to create your voicemail greeting. The second is to then attach your greeting to your extension. Number 3 is to configure your voicemail settings like email notifications or transcription. And number 4 is forwarding your Phone.com number to your voicemail. And last but not least is checking any voicemail messages that you've received. As far as the alternative voicemail setups, we're going to show you how to forward calls to your cell phone voicemail instead of your Phone.com voicemail, and we'll also show you how to play different voicemail greetings using the exact same extension, which is really cool. All right, so let's jump into step number 1, which is creating your greeting. So there's several options for how to record your greeting. There's text to greeting, recording from your phone, or uploading a file directly from your computer. So let me show you guys how to make a greeting on the interface here. So we're logged into our account. We're going to start by going to Configure at the top, and we'll go to Add a Greeting on the far right. This gets you to your Add a Greeting page. You're going to want to give your greeting a unique nickname. We'll call this Derek's Voicemail. Restricted to, this is good if you have a lot of extensions on your account and you just want this greeting to only be used by one particular extension. I only have one extension here, so I'm just going to leave it as all. Allow for use as hold music. That's kind of irrelevant for a voicemail greeting, so you can choose no for that. And so this is the main section of the Add a Greeting page. To go over these briefly, text to greeting works where you type in a text-based message and a computer automated voice will read off your message. And we got a whole lot of choices here that you can choose from. As far as professional goes, I would give Allison or Callie a try. Those are always good, and also the clear voices come in pretty well. You use it temporarily and then record using your own voice in the future. So option number 2 is to record from phone. And the way this works is you click the Click to Record a Greeting button. This dialog box pops up and you enter your personal cell phone or landline number and you push call. And the Phone.com system will call you. You can pick up the phone and record your greeting and it will save on your account. And the last and final one is upload new file. You can just choose a file on your computer. We support WAVs, MP3s, GSMs, and some other formats as well, and you just click upload after you get that saved. So I'm going to do a quick text to greeting, make up a voicemail message. I've reached Derek. Please leave a message. Thanks. And I will then choose, let's do William.
Hi, my name is William.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. If you push preview, it will sound off the voice that you've selected, and it'll actually read off what you've typed in so you can preview how it sounds. So we're going to save greeting here to get that all saved up. And your voicemail greeting is now saved. It will always be on the Manage Greetings page should you want to make any edits to this. If you want to get back to this page, you just got to go to Configure at the top and Manage Greetings on the far right. And we have several options here. You can play a preview of your recording right from the list. You can also edit your greeting and then delete it as well if you so desire. So that was step 1, making the greeting. Let's jump back over and head on over to step 2. So step 2 is actually attaching your greeting to an extension. This is a pretty critical part. Your voicemail greeting will not play unless you attach it to the extension that you want to receive voicemails on. I know I see a lot of people, they'll make the greeting and they'll just expect it automatically to be the voicemail greeting, but you definitely have to do this one extra step. You can have 2 recordings attached per extension. You have the standard greeting, which is your primary greeting that'll always play. Then you have your alternate greeting, which is your secondary greeting. And this needs to be switched manually to in order to activate it and play the alternative. So let me show you guys how to attach this greeting. Okay, so we'll just say you're on your Manage Greetings page. We now need to get to the Manage Extensions page. So we'll go to Configure at the top and Manage Users and Extensions. And so I have a new extension here, extension 503. We're going to click the edit box to get into the settings. And this is the edit settings page for extension 503, and we're going to scroll down to voicemail. Always make sure your status is to on unless you want to deliberately turn off your whole voicemail. And what we're going to do here is we're going to choose standard greeting. We're going to choose Derek's voicemail, the one I just made. And that will make our voicemail message, the one we just created, in the greeting section. And just select Save Changes to save that out. Okay, let's move on to step number 3. So step 3 is configuring your voicemail settings, and there's several options that you can play around with. We have leave a message prompts. We have the ability to change your voicemail password. We have voicemail transcription, and we have SMS and email voicemail notifications, which are super handy, and I always turn those on. So let me show you guys how to configure all of those. So we're going to go back into our extension settings, and just to show you how to do this one more time, you go to Configure, and you go to Manage Users and Extensions, and you find your extension listed, and you select the edit box. And we're going to scroll down again to the voicemail section. And we'll just go down this line by line. First, we got leave a message prompts. I usually advise to turn this off after you've recorded your own greeting. It's pretty much the generic message of please leave your message after the tone. When finished, hang up or press the pound key. So you can just click the checkbox to turn that off. Voicemail password, we generate a default one for you. If you don't like this, you can either enter your own. It can be as many numbers as you want in any length, or if you push the reset password button, it'll generate a new one for you. We also have voicemail transcription. This is really cool. This will actually transcribe your voicemail audio messages to text, so you never have to actually listen to your voicemails. We have automated transcriptions, which are $1.50 per month for unlimited transcriptions. And then we also have the super accurate human assisted transactions, which are 25 cents per transcription. And the first 4 are free for that. And moving on down, we have voicemail notification settings. If you want to be notified that you've received a voicemail, either through email or an SMS text message, you can select these. So I'm going to say that I want an email notification. I'm just going to fill in my email here. And so now whenever I get a voicemail, I'm going to get an email with it, and the actual voicemail will be attached as a WAV or MP3 file. And it's super cool because you can listen to it directly from your email without having to log into your account. Okay, so let's save all those settings for that to take effect. Cool, so those were the configuration options. Let's move on to the 4th step, which is forwarding to your voicemail. And this is the final step in the whole setup process. You are going to add a leave voicemail action at the end of your call handling rules. And just as an example, this is very simplified. It might be a little more complex depending on your setup. But most people will have a forward call rule for their very first one, maybe to a cell phone or to a landline. And then you always want to add a second action, which is to leave a voicemail on an appropriate extension. If you want to have a voicemail left on your forwarded number, like your cell phone, definitely go ahead and skip this step, and we'll cover how to do that in the alternative setup. So let me show you guys how to go about this part. Okay, so to forward your number to your voicemail, we want to go to the Manage Numbers page, and that is at Configure at the top, and then Manage Numbers on the left. And so you'll see here we have our Manage Numbers page. I'm going to choose my 617 number, so we'll select the edit box to get into the settings. This is content for another webinar. All this stuff here, you're definitely welcome to look around and play with it. We're just going to select Edit on Number Action to get into the call handling rules. And we are now in the call handling rules for our number. You'll probably see this page time and again as you come in to make changes to your account. So definitely get as comfortable as possible with it. We're going to do a really basic setup of forwarding to a cell phone. So we'll change select operation to forward call. This is going to be our first rule. I just assume you guys already have this set up. Okay, so to forward it to voicemail, we're going to push Add Next Action on field 2B, and then I'll bring up another action box, and we're going to change this one to Leave Voicemail, and we're going to choose the extension that we created our greeting on. So the system it's pretty logical and straightforward. It's going to forward my call to my cell phone for 20 seconds, and then if I don't pick up, it's going to have the caller leave a voicemail on extension 503, and I can get a awesome email notification about that. So we'll save rule settings to get that all saved out, and we'll save changes on this page. And let's actually show you now how to check your voicemail. So there's several options to check your voicemail. If you guys have a phone.com device with us, like an IP phone or an analog phone hooked up to an ATA adapter or a soft phone on your computer, you can dial 8686 and it will get you directly into our voicemail system, and it'll ask you for your extension password, which you can enter. Or you know what, I think it asks you for your extension and then your password. To check voicemails from the phone.com control panel, you're going to want to view your extension inbox that you receive voicemails on, which I'll show you in a brief moment here. Checking voicemail from email, of course you'll want to enable email notifications within the extension settings that you're having voicemails left on. And last but not least, you can also check voicemail from your smartphone. We have two awesome apps for both the iPhone and Android. If you search for PhoneCom Mobile Office on the Google or Apple Store, you'll be able to find that and get it downloaded. So let me show you guys how to check your voicemails from the control panel itself. Okay, so for this we are going to go to Configure at the top and select Manage Users and Extensions. And we got 503 extension here again. Instead of edit this time, we're going to choose the envelope icon with a little letter sticking out of it. And this will get you directly to your inbox, and all of your voicemails will be listed here. I left myself a test one just so you guys can see how it looks. It'll show you the caller ID and also the caller name if they decide to provide that. There's a play button here that you can play the message with, and then there is also a delete button if you want to delete that. And then you can also, under the options tab, you can add this number to the address book, block the caller. So definitely some options to explore for that. Okay, so that was the 5 steps I wanted to show you guys. Now I'm going to jump into some of the alternative setups for some of you intermediate users that want a little bit more flexibility in how voicemail functions. So if you're wondering how you have a voicemail left on your cell phone instead of your phone.com account, this is a 2-step process. The first step is to delete your leave voicemail action in your call handling rules section, which I'll show you. And secondly is to increase your ring time to at least 60 seconds. And this will, most often from what I've seen, it'll give it ample time for your cell phone voicemail to pick up before the phone.com system does. So let me show you guys that really quick here. Okay, so let's go to configure at the top and manage user numbers on the left. And we'll select the edit box again on our 617 number. This is just like we're going into the call handling rules as I showed you earlier. We're just going to modify a few things, and we'll select the edit on number action. Okay, so just again to reiterate, we're forwarding this cell phone for 20 seconds. If you don't pick up, we're leaving a voicemail on the phone.com account currently, but we want it to be left on the cell phone. So step 1 is to leave voicemail, and step 2 is to change your ring time 60 seconds and save rule settings. Very easy. But please call yourself from an outside line and just make sure your voicemail for your cell phone is picking up just to confirm it's working. And the second alternative setup is, how do I have 2 different greetings play for the exact same extension? And this is again is another 2-step process. The first is to disable your greeting within your extension, and the second is to play your greeting directly in your call handling rules with a play recording action, which I will show you guys right now. Okay, so let's first go into the extension settings page. So we're going to go to configure and manage users and extensions. We've been here a few times again, so we're going to select the edit box to get to the usual extension settings, and we're going to scroll down to voicemail again. And the first step was to disable your greeting, so all you got to do is go to standard greeting and choose none. So right now, since we're not even playing the leave a message prompt, it's not going to play any recording, it's just going to do a beep, which is perfect. So now we can play 2 different recordings. So we're going to save changes. Okay, so that was step 1. Step 2 is to now add a play recording action within your call handling rules. So for that, we'll go back up to configure, and we'll go to manage numbers. And we will select the edit box on our 617 number. We'll select edit on number action. So for this, you'll need to make 2 actions. First action, after your forward call, is play recording. And we're just going to choose the one voicemail we already made. Second action, action C, is leave voicemail. So the way this will go, oh, you know, we're going to change this back to 20 seconds because we want our phone.com voicemail to work now. So forward call to our cell phone for 20 seconds. If we don't pick up, it's then going to play our unique recording, and then it will forward us to our voicemail inbox on extension 503. So what the caller will actually hear is they're going to hear the Derek's voicemail recording, and then when they get to leave voicemail, they'll just hear a beep, which is the signal to leave a message. And if you, for example, had another number that you wanted to use the exact same extension inbox on, you would just use a different play recording message and the same leave voicemail message on the extension settings. And then just save rule settings to get that going. Okay, so that was all I had. Thank you very much to everybody joining today. If you don't get your question answered in the Q&A at the end, please reach out to us. We have 24/7 phone support at our 800 line. Email is support@phone.com. We have chat support Monday through Friday, and we also have our Twitter and Facebook social media team standing by to help you guys out. Thank you again, and it is greatly appreciated to be able to share this knowledge with you, and we hope to see you soon.